Welcome to Alternate Ending, where we're discovering nice movies, one naughty movie at a time. I'm your ho-ho host, Tim Brayton, with a very special holiday episode. This is December. We have 5 Tuesdays in the month of December, and as we always do in a month with 5 Tuesdays, we've picked the last one to be a special one-off topic. In this particular case, it is, of course, not the 5th Tuesday of December. We are the second Tuesday of December, but because of the Christmas holiday season, we kind of rearranged the schedule a little bit, and we did have a holiday topic. So that's what we're here to talk about tonight. And with me are two very special guests. One of them special indeed, because for the first time since last calendar year, I get to talk about something that isn't a horror movie with Mr. Brennan Klein. How are you doing this holiday season?
Hello, hello, hello. I am also really excited to talk to you about non-horror movies. As anyone who listens to Bride of Alternate Ending probably knows, while I love talking about horror movies, one thing that I love almost equally is not talking about horror movies. I get very distracted on that show. So I am excited to get to dig into another topic with you. And I must say, you have wiped the floor with me as far as introducing the podcast in a
I
thematic way.
thank you for letting me make a complete jackass of myself. I've had that one planned for an embarrassingly long enough time. So
We enjoy seeing you make a jackass of
I
yourself.
there will be so many opportunities to do that in this recording. And there, as you heard, we do have our other very special guest, someone else who I haven't talked to in far too long, it feels. Cameron Shaw. How are you doing, Cameron?
I am great. There is some full moon activity happening in my life where it's been a bit of a shit hitting the fan kind of day. But you know what? We're here and we're talking about Christmas movies, and I'm excited for that. So it's good to see you guys.
Yes, we are here to talk about Christmas movies, and not just any Christmas movies. We are here to talk about the modern canon of Christmas classics that come from the wonderful world of direct to cable and direct to streaming. Particularly, I don't know where we ever landed, if we're going to do Hallmark and Netflix and Lifetime or just Netflix, but we'll see how the conversation takes us. But yes,
hmm
a certain branch of Christmas rom-com that was suggested to us by none other than Cameron. So tell us a little bit, what caused you to say, I want to spend a portion of my life digging into these?
Sure. Okay. Well, I will tell you the story of how I started watching terrible Christmas movies on streaming services. Uh, it harkens back to the winter of 2020 when we were all kind of still in a little COVID bubble.
That was a time.
It sure was. So
We all
my
made a
one
lot
of
of decisions in 2020.
this is maybe one of the better decisions I made in 2020, which is one of my best friends and I, Adam, shout out to Adam, who lives in Montana, started watching over Zoom bad Christmas movies together where we would sync things up and hit play at the exact same time. And that's just what we did.
Back before there was an automated way to do that.
Yeah, and Eve, actually, I think there was an automated way to do that on Netflix, but not on every streaming
Hmm.
service. So, and I don't even know if there is on every streaming service now. But regardless, we have this kind of janky way of doing it, and it works for us. And yeah, so now we do it with YouTube, we do it with the Hallmark Channel, whatever there is. So every December now, we try to watch as many terrible Christmas movies as possible. Not always Christmas movies. There is the occasional Hanukkah movie. There is the
Oh yeah.
occasional like New Year's movie, but they are few and far between. It is primarily Christmas because God knows this is a primarily Christmas-driven country.
It's
So
this, and Christmas sells
yes, Christmas
substantially.
hmm
sells. Yeah. So I guess in thinking about how to structure this, I figured maybe we should start with just a quick rundown of what we consider our favorite Christmas movies that are not terrible streaming Christmas movies. And
Sure.
they're not even all terrible. A few of them are pretty good. So, but
that is true.
yeah, I'm wondering just like what did you guys grow up watching? What do you love as a Christmas movie?
Brennan, I'll let you take a first stab at that if you like.
Okay. Well, I was thinking about this, and I don't know if there are a lot of Christmas movies that like live in my heart. But like my childhood Christmas movie is probably Elf with Will Ferrell.
hmm
But like the Christmas movies that I really like, we are going to talk about horror a little bit. Like my favorite Christmas movies, as an adult, definitely 1974's Black Christmas. It's
Today,
just
Oh,
this literal day that we are recording, I tried to show my no good loser scumbag partner Black Christmas, and he said, I'm not in the mood for a violent movie today.
how what? How can I don't understand this mood. Does that mood exist?
Apparently, and it made me kind of mad.
I don't
Okay.
understand how you're dating this person.
I don't know if I still am, to be honest.
But kind of this is kind of belying who I would become in the future. But as a kid, I was really drawn to Gremlins also. That's another
Mhm.
Mm.
Christmas movie that I really, really adore. I have the unusual honor of being probably one of the few people who have read the novelization of Gremlins before watching
Oh,
the movie.
Nice.
you're a
Um,
completionist. I love it.
yeah, well, it was in my elementary school library, and I liked the cover, and I was
Oh,
like, "The hell is this thing?" And I checked it out, and I was like, "Okay, cool. Gizmo is an alien, as he is in the novelization of Gremlins. Let's watch the movie." And I was like, "Holy shit, this movie is amazing." So yeah, those are the two I'd probably throw
You
out.
know, I have not had that experience. I have had the experience of having read the novelization of Gremlins 2, The New Batch, before I saw the movie.
Whoa,
Right?
what? I didn't even
Right?
know that
It
existed.
exists. The scene where the gremlin takes over the projection booth and Hulk Hogan punches him was replaced by a gremlin tying up the editor at the novel imprint
Oh,
to insert a chapter.
I
wow.
I love that they are so consistent with that being different on every format that you watch,
Yes.
basically. That's so lovely.
Yes. That being said, I my answers are not going to be as cool as Gremlins and Black Christmas, unfortunately, because I'm not as cool. I'm a big old square about Christmas.
And that's one of the most interesting things about you because you tend to be like either very intellectual or very lowbrow, but with Christmas
It's
you're like
so
right in
true.
the middle
Right,
with everybody
right.
Yeah.
else, and it's
So,
kind of great.
so unbelievably middlebrow. So obviously, if I'm t picking a piece of audiovisual Christmas media, it's Charlie Brown. Like
Oh,
I'm a
interesting.
person, but
Mm.
it's not a movie. It's a TV special. So if I'm gonna say
Oh, you know
what,
what? I'm gonna say that counts, but because I have two categories for my answer.
okay,
But go
well,
ahead.
because I was gonna say, and this is so normie that I feel like I'm gonna burst into flames when I say it out loud. I I think It's a Wonderful Life is my favorite Christmas movie.
Okay. Yeah,
I'm in the midst of a big Capra binge right now, and I'm reminding myself of how much I like what Capra's up to. And I think it's such a I think it is a movie that fights very hard to earn its sugary sentiment at the end. And I really, really, really love Jimmy Stewart's performance. It might be my favorite performance he gave in a movie.
wow.
So I'm just gonna have to go with the absolute least imaginative conceivable answer to this question.
Well, it's Christmas. This is
Ye-
not the time to impress people. It's the time to
Right.
return to those cozy,
And
warm,
of course,
lovely
number two is
places.
Eyes Wide Shut, which we all know is a Christmas movie.
Night of the Comet, technically a Christmas movie.
Technically a Christmas movie.
Okay. Well, I am also kind of normie as far as my favorite Christmas movies. I really enjoy Meet Me in St. Louis, which covers
Mm.
Hmm.
the entire year, but I think the best part is the Christmas part because it gives us Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas for the first time in
It
the
is
world.
it is the best part, and even though it's only a quarter of the movie, it feels weird to me to watch that film any other time of year, even though three-quarters of it
Yeah,
are explicitly not that time of year.
absolutely. It's like the two best parts are Halloween and Christmas.
Hmm.
So,
But I would feel bizarre watching that as a Halloween movie, whereas I feel
oh,
very natural watching it as a Christmas movie.
it's not a Halloween movie
Yeah,
for sure. My other favorite Christmas movie is Home Alone,
mm,
which is just, I saw it as a kid for the first time in theaters and have loved it ever since. My favorite Christmas specials, TV Christmas specials, are the Pee Wee Herman Christmas special or Pee Wee's Playhouse Christmas. I think it's Pee Wee Herman's Christmas special, and A Very Brady Christmas,
mm.
which is amazing if you haven't seen it. It's super cheesy and has its own miracle, Christmas miracle at the end. And I
Ah.
highly recommend for all you nostalgic millennials out there or Gen X, whatever you are, to watch A Very Brady Christmas because it is something.
All
So
right.
yeah, yeah.
Now, so this gives us a baseline, obviously, of like what do we
Mhm.
like when we are not liking movies ironically or semi-ironically, or maybe not that ironically. But I do want to, I'm curious. So Cameron, we heard your story. Brennan, what is your level of exposure? Now, obviously a lot, as is the evidence of our website. But sort of how did you get into this medium of shall we say Netflix Christmas for want of having to say 15 names all at once.
Mhm.
Yeah, to me, the two titans are Netflix and Hallmark, and they are making essentially comparable levels of movies, although Netflix tends to have bigger stars and a little bit more high concept.
And my
Um,
sense, well, we'll get there. We'll get there. I won't interrupt.
yeah, no worries. But yeah, I don't know. For me, it was kind of almost by accident. So I did a project where I was watching every movie adapted from a Jane Austen novel.
Mm.
Oh,
Um, and Hallmark has done a fuck ton of those. They're all
really?
bad. Yes.
Is there
There's
like
like,
a is there like Pride and Prejudice and Peppermint or something like that?
well, there's Pride and Prejudice and Mistletoe, so it's even
Oh
Ah,
worse.
man. Oh
but that
man.
doesn't
I gotta check
alliterate.
that out.
No, it doesn't. They did follow that up with Sense and Sensibility and Snowmen, so they
Okay.
figured out what they were doing there.
Have they done a Mansfield Park adaptation?
No,
Have they
Because
nobody
done
really does
that's the hard
that.
one. That's the
have they
hard
It
one.
done
is.
Emma
Yeah.
and Eggnog?
Um, in terms of the and series, those are just the two.
Okay.
Um, they have allegedly done an Emma one. It's not Christmas themed. And Emma is like a literal child, and
Mm,
I haven't watched that one. That like I found out that that one existed after I did this project, and I was like, I'm not going back. I
that's
can't.
that's sort of where I am with the 15 Amityvilles that have come out since I did my Amityville catch up.
Yeah, you have to draw the line. But anyway, that was my first exposure to Hallmark Christmas movies as a whole. And I guess for Netflix Christmas, I kind of started watching them because I had some friends who were watching them. That's what Christmas is about. You watch things, you talk about them with your friends, and you can go back to them if you want. I never go back to a Netflix Christmas movie, but I go back to Netflix for their new Christmas movies every
Mhm.
year. And what really got me into like, I'm just going to dig in the muck of all of these is the fact that when I was writing reviews very regularly for Alternate Ending, Tim was covering theatrical stuff and I was pretty much covering streaming stuff. And in December, that's what you get. And I was like, I'd like to make a little bit of pocket money and I will write about all of these shitty movies. And that's kind of how that came together. And I just never really stopped.
Which this is a good point to point out. If you want to support the show using our Patreon, which is right there in the show notes, Brennan can afford to do more of those because
Yes.
we can't pay. It's a very Christmas. It's sad. It's like when the money the charity people come to visit Scrooge and they're like, please give us money to help the poor. The poor is you who don't get streaming Christmas reviews because we can't afford to pay Brennan to write them. So just keep that in
Exactly.
mind this holiday season.
Because the poor is also us. Sad.
Oh my
Exactly.
God. Yeah. Oh my God. But yeah, just in one last quick thing. So the thing that like kind of just kept me going on the Christmas movie thing, even though wasn't really doing it as a writing exercise anymore, is that I just kind of have this irresistible kind of like poke a bruise urge to explore all of the mediocre heterosexuality kind of
Mhm.
expressions and I could have made that I could have constructed that sentence in a much better way. But as someone who has reviewed all of the movies in the After franchise, I think except for the first one, for Alternate Ending, like just watching straight people try to understand themselves on film is really fascinating to me. And even when it's especially when it's mediocre, there's something I can't pull my gaze away from. My gay gaze.
I One of the other things that happened this weekend with my partner, we decided to see how many gay Hallmark movies are there. There's a lot.
Oh,
There's a lot,
really?
and they all star
That's
Jonathan Bennett.
interesting.
They all
Oh,
star
okay.
Jonathan Bennett.
I've seen a couple, but I didn't know that there were a lot. That's interesting.
And my guess is that they are also mediocre and heterosexual despite being about gay couples.
I
Probably true.
actually have not seen any of Hallmark's gay ones. Hallmark has a little bit of a steeper price of entry because I don't have television as such.
Ah, sure.
Right, same.
So I do have to specifically pay for the Hallmark movies that I watch, and they can be
Gotcha.
up to they can be premium VOD prices, and so I've
Okay.
seen less of
Yeah.
the new ones.
Have you seen Netflix's Single All the Way?
Yes,
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
it
So
will
sounds
come
like my
up.
follow-up question, do I need to see Single All the Way, will also be
Yes.
yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Come on, Tim. Get in the
well,
Christmas spirit.
I will say it is probably the best Netflix holiday movie, and no, you don't need to watch it.
Oh,
I may quibble with that because I
I
am a
would love
big.
for you to quibble with
All
that.
right, well, okay. Single All the Way was good. I agree. I am a huge fan, and by huge fan, I mean these movies are largely terrible, but the first one is pretty good. Of the A Christmas Prince series, which is I think actually maybe the best movie of the terrible Christmas movies I've watched in the last 5 years.
Ooh.
But have you seen this, Brennan?
I've seen all three Christmas Prince
You've seen
movies,
all,
yes.
they get very bad. So this the second,
I love them more the further they go along
right.
because they
No,
get crazier.
that's the thing is that like then they start like talking about like international relations with other made up European countries
Oh,
and
it's so delicious.
it's great. Yeah, and there's a baby and yeah.
And there's
Um
always some sort of like Christmas ornament that if we lose
yes,
it, it's going to ruin these relations.
right. So this is what I love about that world. That movie and a few of the others like I believe the Princess Switch series and The Night Before Christmas, Night with a K,
Mhm.
which is a gem in and of itself. They all kind of exist in the same universe
They
where
do.
Aldovia, the country that A Christmas Prince takes place in, is a real country. And they have like little nods towards each other throughout. They're all produced by this company called MPCA, which I believe stands for the Motion Picture Corporation of America or something like that.
that sounds about
Um,
right.
yeah, so when I see that logo at the head of one of these Netflix movies, I get very excited because I know we're in Aldovia land. And
It's
that's
the MPCA CU. It's the connected
exactly,
universe.
yes. Yeah.
And I will A Castle for Christmas with Brooke
Oh,
Shields is
so
also
good.
like it has like two minor characters from A Christmas Prince show up for one
Yes.
scene. So
Yeah.
they it is a they kind of stopped doing that. Like I don't think they've done any connections to that universe since like 2021, which is a
I th
bummer.
I think you're right. I think A Castle for Christmas, or maybe the most recent Princess Switch movie, which was a couple years ago, um, was the last one. It is a bummer because I'm sure that the stars have moved on outside of Brooke Shields and Dread Pirate Roberts. What's his real name?
Carrie
Carrie
Ellis.
Elwes. Yeah. And Vanessa Hudgens. You know, they're not big stars in these movies. They're kind of people who probably want to have a career outside of A Christmas Prince. Um,
I cannot understand why, but
It's interesting to people who get cast in these because they're all very attractive and they're decent actors, and their careers largely go nowhere, as far as I can tell.
well,
Some of them are
it's
terrible actors. I correct myself. So, yeah.
yeah, well, it's interesting. Sorry, I'm trying to like. There's so many things I want to talk
I
about
know,
with this,
same.
and T Tim is kind of well. First of all, Tim is kind of our audience for this episode.
Yeah.
But please chime in with questions or comments if you
When
have any.
I feel like I need to interject to clarify because I have so many questions. But right now, please keep on trucking. I would love to hear your enthusiasms, Brennan.
Okay. Well, I think there are kind of three categories of actor that Netflix has, and I'm kind of pulling this out of my ass, so I might change that number.
Okay.
But there's usually the star who has name brand value but hasn't done anything in like 10 years. So that's where they get Vanessa Hudgens.
Yes.
When they lost Vanessa Hudgens to whatever the hell she did next, that's when they brought in Lindsay Lohan, and they've kind of, you know, lit the embers of her career again, and she's off making movies that do okay at the box office. So there's that, and then there's just random people from TV who have like one role in one show that you've heard of, like
Mhm.
opposite Lindsay Lohan in My Little Secret. It's Ian Harding from like Pretty Little Liars or
Yeah.
something. And Rose McIver, who's the lead of the Christmas Prince movies, she's on iZombie on the CW. That's a show that lasted for like 5 seasons, I think. So it people watched it apparently. So they get people like that. What was the third? Oh, the third category is people who show up to do one of these and never again, like Brooke Shields and
Yeah.
Carrie Elwes, and
Yeah.
they
Well,
actually are stars,
they
even though
actually
maybe, yeah.
they actually are stars, and I think part of like a subset of the first category that you were talking about, people who were like maybe B-list stars, is like people who were childhood stars, like
Hmm.
your Lacey Chabert, Lindsay Lohan type of people. And then well, Lacey Chabert is a powerhouse in and of her, like in her own right. I don't know how that woman continues to look like she's 30 years old, but she has looked the exact same for every single Hallmark movie or
Hmm.
Netflix movie that she's been in, and makes a killing at it, I'm sure. Like, I think she's probably fairly highly paid. Anyway, but there are a lot of people like that. There's, Scott Wolf was in a couple that I've seen. Yeah, I wrote down Brooke Shields. But that it's sort of like a name that they can splash, and you're like, wait, why do I know that name? Oh yeah, she was in the kid in the remake of The Parent Trap or whatever it is. And that is it's a weird person to be, I think. That like I wonder how they feel about being in these movies.
I'm sure they're happy to have a gig, or at
I,
least
s-
you can only hope.
yeah, you're probably right.
Sorry.
Brennan, I wonder if you have like particular tropes that you particularly enjoy in these films because
Oh,
I have a few.
that is such a good question. I would like some time to reflect on it. So please tell
Sure.
me a
Okay.
couple of yours.
And by a few, I mean I have a lot, so I'll just
Yeah.
I'll tell you a few of my lot. I So many of these movies involve as it's kind of become like almost a meme, I think on Instagram/Twitter, uh, where there's like somebody from the big city who goes home to a small
Oh.
town for
Hmm.
Christmas, or they go to a small town because they're being sent on a newspaper story, or, they work for a law firm that is like shutting down the Christmas tree farm, something like that. And they go and they fall in love with a like very down home, usually man. I don't think there are a lot where the protagonist is a man, I will say. Um,
Yeah,
and
that's certainly not who Hallmark is trying to make movies for.
No, it certainly is not. So these are all geared towards the millennial moms of America, I believe. Uh, so they go home and they have like a meet cute with either their childhood sweetheart or somebody who's mysteriously shown up in town that they had never met before. And uh, that's kind of the basis of many of these. Sometimes there's like you have to hide your identity for one reason or another so that they don't figure out who you really are, like in A Christmas Prince, which is the only one that I managed to rewatch before this, so I'm going
Mm.
to refer to it a lot. She, in the beginning, gets into the castle as a journalist because she pretends to be the princess's tutor and who's been hired from America. So, and then that leads me to another trope, which is they often have an adorable child at the center of how the two people who fall in love end up falling in love. So in A Christmas Prince, it is the like Tiny Tim-esque crippled princess.
Oh my God.
Crippled is probably not the word I'm supposed to use, but
Uh,
she
Disabled? I don't know. I
disabled.
think that's a
Thank you.
little behind also, but
It
probably
probably
close there.
is. Yeah, differently abled. They say verbatim that she has spina bifida. So she either has a wheelchair or she walks with crutches. Um, and which is kind of like straight up Tiny Tim coded.
That's the thing. I feel like that crosses the line into homage.
Yes. Yeah.
But Tiny Tim did not hack his way into like saving the day on on his like special computer device.
That's
So
true.
That's
So
that's
true.
true.
Princess, I think, is winning here.
She's one up on Tiny Tim. Yes.
And
Um,
presumably there's no timeline where she dies. So also for that reason, she's one
I
up on
mean,
Tiny Tim.
we haven't seen that at least yet, but maybe they'll revisit this world at some point. One
Yeah, in
can
some
only
sort of
hope.
like Avengers Endgame, they're going back into the timelines of the other movies.
Yeah.
That would be incredible.
Yeah, the acorn ornament gets like lost into the warp of time, but
Yeah, the warp of time that brought the medieval knight to Vanessa Hudgens in The
yes,
Night Before Christmas. Um,
yes.
sorry to just I will come
No,
back to your tropes.
jeez.
But one of my favorite things about the Knight Before Christmas.
The Night Before
Um,
Christmas. Thank you. I call it that too.
okay, good.
This is so exciting.
Well, there's two great things. Number one is that his name is Cole, and he's a knight, so he is Sir Cole, which is
Circle.
circle. Um,
And
and
they
they just
say it constantly. They never call him Cole. They just always call him Sir Cole.
Yeah, no, it is so mesmerizing.
Yes.
But also the way that it gets sent forward in time is that there's like this maybe not evil, but like a
Hmm.
witch, an old lady who does
Hmm.
some sort of magic. And he literally calls her crone. He's
Crone
like,
constantly.
when she vanishes, he's looking through the forest and he's like, Crone, old crone. And I'm like, what's wrong with you? Anyway, sorry. More
No,
tropes.
thank you. I'd forgotten about
I
the
mean,
old
you
crone
are
part.
currently describing a Monty Python sketch, so I'm kind
Yes,
of on board with what you're saying right now.
you should absolutely see The Night Before Christmas. It's spectacular. It's similar. Maybe not similar, but also not dissimilar to a movie I believe you did see, Tim, which is Hot Frosty.
I did see Hot Frosty. When we get to the point where I talk about the things I know, Hot Frosty
Okay.
is about 80% of it.
Yeah. So, I mean, in Hot Frosty, he comes to life, the snowman, and has no idea how to function in this world. The Night Before Christmas is not totally far from that
Okay.
because, it's kid in King Arthur's court kind of situation where you're in a world that is the world that you've lived in, but it's a completely different time period. So he
It's
doesn't really know
it's
what
a
to
high
do.
concept fish out of water.
It sure
Mhm.
is. Yes.
But yeah, sorry.
What
What are other tropes? And I have some for when you're ready to throw it back
Okay,
to me.
great. There's always a shot of the hot girl descending a staircase in a sexy outfit. Always. Like, I don't care how they do it, but there's like a party. There's a party for some reason, and she wears a beautiful dress. Sometimes the dress is really ugly, and that's one of
Oh
my
yeah.
favorite things is when the dress is secretly really ugly. They also never end up actually having sex except for in A California Christmas and its sequel, where they have kind of sexy sex, which
Yeah.
is, yeah. So you've
Okay.
seen that.
Of course.
Okay, good.
Okay. So, A California Christmas City Lights, which is the second
Yes.
one, is
Yeah.
an unwatchable movie.
Yes.
It has no narrative. It is so fucking boring. But the first one, I believe it is about a man who goes to a small town and he's like a rich guy and he ends up like working on the ranch of this lady.
Yeah, she like owns a vineyard or has inherited a vineyard or something, and
Yeah.
you're right. But I don't know if I'd call him the protagonist.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he's certainly the driving force of the plot, and I think he's the
Yes.
first person we see. But I think they're dual protagonists,
Yeah.
perhaps. But the thing about that one is, that was a COVID production.
Yeah.
So it has like four characters in it. And the two leads are a real life married couple. And
Oh, I didn't know that.
yeah, and the female lead directed the movie.
Oh, okay,
And I
cool.
believe wrote it also. And it's kind of the reverse of wife guy cinema, which I know Tim has a soft spot for,
I
where
do.
the thesis of A California Christmas is, isn't my husband a fucking stud? Look
Yeah.
at this guy. Look at him take off his shirt. I'm gonna fuck him in the barn and you don't get to.
That's interesting. I wonder, so that's probably why they go there. Like
hmm
they feel comfortable with that. She wrote it. She gets to direct it. It's her husband. She's gonna have sex with him. That's great. I had
Yeah,
no
so
idea.
yeah, even though the characters are single and are thus committing a sin,
Mhm.
the sex on screen has not escaped the marriage bed. So
Yes.
it's okay to depict.
Okay.
Yeah. Um, let's see. I think those are the big ones. Those are my favorite. There's also often there's like the town has to come together to put on a production of some sort
Of course. A
to
pageant,
save.
perhaps.
Yeah, a pageant, a show, a concert to save the Christmas tree farm or whatever. In a California Christmas, it's like the heirloom wine grapes that are dying or something. But
Yeah, I
there's
don't
always
remember.
something. They're special grapevines in a California Christmas that I recall, but I don't remember exactly
That
what's
that
special
feels
about
like
them.
someone who's never been into California, never been to California. That's how they would write a story with California in the title. Is like it's
Yeah.
about grapevines.
Winemaking. Yes. Uh, so Brennan, I'm excited to hear yours.
Yeah, well, one of my favorites is something that I was going to bring up when we're talking about those fake countries in the
Hmm.
Christmas Prince and Princess Switch. It's always England because people want to. They used to want to fuck Prince William. Now they want to fuck Prince Harry. There's probably a new one who's gonna arrive at some point.
Yeah.
But that's what the fantasy is. So it's always England, but it is always England on continental Europe.
Yes.
Uh, so it's always Aldovia, which is kind of where France is? Question mark. They don't like point to a map, but you're like it
Well, I
kind of
think
feels.
I think at one point in the third one, when they're like being invaded by other whatever happens in the third one,
Uh-huh.
um, they do at one point show a map, and I think
Okay.
part of me now wants to find this map to see what countries they magically deleted, but
Okay.
I have
Yes,
not done
I
that.
I need to relook at that.
Yeah.
But Belgravia is the same thing, which I believe is right next to Aldovia, of
Hmm.
course. Um, as you may remember from geography class.
Yes.
Um, but I just love that it's always England, but it's always continental, so things get a little weird.
Yeah.
So they're like, here is our mountainous Christmas village, but I'm obviously Prince Harry, and it just gets very confusing politically, and I enjoy that.
It does. I also enjoy that many of them seem to shoot in very similar, if not the exact same locations.
Oh, I'm
So
sure.
there's the Christmas Prince Castle has been in like at least four or five of these movies, and it's somewhere in Romania. So I think they shoot in a lot of Eastern Europe,
Yeah.
many of these because probably for tax break reasons.
Oh yeah,
Um,
so many cheap B movies filmed in Romania and Bulgaria.
yeah, I think uh, that is something that maybe was started by the Princess Diaries, which is not a Christmas movie, but just the like made up country that totally
Wait,
works for the movie, Genovia.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like I obviously there were made up countries in The Mouse That Roared and all those movies, but like they're in this modern era. I feel like that's the movie that was like this is a rom-com about, especially Princess Diaries too, rom-com about going to Europe, being royal, and in a made-up country, and
Yeah.
that formula really works well for these stupid Christmas movies. If there's the word castle, prince, princess, royal in the title, it's probably going to be at least delightfully stupid.
Oh yeah. And there's
Yeah.
there's every variation. There's My
Yes.
Christmas Prince, there's A Christmas Prince, there's The Christmas Prince.
Christmas with a prince,
Yes.
like a prince for Christmas. Like, yes, it's
And Lacey Chabert is in at least one to three of those movies.
yes.
If I can step in, and I certainly want to hear the rest of your list of tropes, Brennan, but something that's striking me, especially as you're talking about they all take place in um, these kind of vaguely non-placed European countries that are England but are pretending to be somewhere like in the Balkans or whatnot.
Hmm.
A lot of what you're talking about is making me feel to a shocking degree. These are all tropes from 30s romantic comedies. Like everything
Oh,
I'm hearing you say, that's
Mm.
like all over the place. Ernst Lubitsch comes in, starts making these movies that are like very much about like European sophistication and excellence. And then every other studio is like, we want some of that. So you're getting dozens of movies in the 30s that are all set in like some place in Europe that is not real. And even some of the other things you mentioned, like every movie has a shot of the woman in her dress coming down the stairs. My immediate thought was, oh, well, that's Betty Davis and Jezebel.
hmm.
So like it feels to me like in a way that I doubt the filmmakers are like comparing those like what 30s rom-com did you rip off? But like it feels to me like it's going back to a very classical mode of the rom-com that kind of disappears post Annie Hall, but then really, really post When Harry Met Sally, where all rom-coms are about neurotic city dwellers.
Hmm.
Uh-huh.
It feels almost like this is a throwback to an earlier generation. And even the other thing you were talking about, like, she goes to she's a big city gal who goes to rural Vermont to whatever. I mean, I've been watching Capra films. That's in that, right? Like these
Yeah.
kind of sort of conservative with a small c, like small towns are better type comedies,
Hmm.
very, very common in the 30s and 40s. So like my immediate response is these are these are throwbacks to a very durable form of the genre. And that's all I have to say because I haven't seen nearly enough of these to develop that. But as someone who likes the 30s and 40s era of rom-coms, I'm sort of wondering if I need to reevaluate how a few of these I have seen. But
I mean,
That's
I don't think that you would regret seeing at least a few more. Like I realize that your taste is probably certainly better than mine, but I can't speak for Brennan. But
Oh,
um
oh,
his taste
much
is better
better,
than mine.
much
Yeah.
better.
I love my taste, but Tim's is better.
Mine
uh
is I have critic taste, and that's what it is. It's neither good nor bad.
but I do know this, Tim, from college at least, that you appreciate a good terrible movie.
I do. I do.
Yeah. And from just watching Cats with you, I know that it is like that is still in you, even though we are no longer in college.
It
So,
is more in me than ever, frankly.
yeah.
For
I
sure.
I kind of only want to watch movies that are stupid and bad. I don't like watching movies that are good.
Okay. Brennan, have you seen The Spirit of Christmas?
Oh my God, that's a Lifetime one, right?
Yeah, I think so.
About
But
like a ghost.
yeah, or she like goes to a house again. I think she's a lawyer and falls in love with a ghost who's only embodied during the 12 days of Christmas.
That is an amazing hook.
Yes, see that Tim, this is the kind of bad movie that you will love. You will
Well, and
Okay.
that
love.
is also that I actually the Spirit of Christmas I recall quite liking.
Oh
Um,
yeah, it's great and
yeah,
terrible.
yeah. I mean, again, this is all on that scale that we're of what we're talking about.
Right.
But Tim, you're totally right. Because also, isn't that kind of just the Ghost and Mrs. Muir too? Like, there's a lot
Hmm.
of these very, very classic tropes that are being used, and I think that's because these movies are all about being comfortable. They're not
Hmm.
about being challenging. They're about just taking you to a place where you know exactly what's going to happen. You know exactly
Hmm.
how it's going to wrap up. Even when the couple fights, 20 minutes later, they're going to get back together and they're going to kiss under the mistletoe, and that's how it's going to be. Um, and there are even more tropes than that than what we've even talked about that are coming
Hmm.
from the 30s through the 50s, etc. Like Netflix has a new movie this year called A Merry Little Xmas, and X is like my ex.
Oh,
Uh,
with it's is it Alicia Silverstone
yeah, it's
in that?
Alicia
Yeah.
Silverstone, and I gotta say, nice to see her starring in a movie again.
Yeah.
That movie is terrible, but it's a comedy of remarriage,
Mm.
and that's so 1930s
Hmm.
Oh, I mean
also.
it's the defining genre of 30s comedy.
Yeah. So I think you're completely right. That's something I hadn't thought of, and I'm really glad that you kind of plucked that out of what we've been talking about, Tim.
Yeah,
Sure.
absolutely.
I do want to follow up, and maybe this is jumping the line a little bit. Because I'm curious. Though you have both seen a lot of these movies, I have seen very few of them. And just to kind of lay my cards on the table, since you both have, so I did see Hot Frosty because it kind of became a meme, and I
Hmm.
thought it was iffy. My mother watches a lot of the Hallmark films, and she actually watches a lot of the Hallmark films not now, but in July when they do their
Oh yeah,
Christmas in
yeah.
July marathon. So I've seen bits and pieces of them watching over her shoulder. The one that really leaps out in my memory, I think the only one that I saw more or less start to finish, I do not remember the title, but it's about two people who work at the same uh, department store, and they've been each given one window to decorate for Christmas in the department store. And his is like real corny and old fashioned, and it's almost too old
Uh-huh.
fashioned, right? But hers is like Bauhaus minimalist, looks like a German torture dungeon. And like they have to kind of combine their skills to make something that's hip but also classical. And of
Hmm.
course, at the end they fall in love. So
What?
believe it
Yeah.
or not,
Brennan, do you know which movie this is? I don't know which one.
I have not seen this one.
I think
Okay.
I think
Sounds
it's literally
great.
called like Christmas Windows or something like that. It was a Hallmark. That's pretty much all the ones my mom watches are Hallmark. I don't know that she watches any that she did see Hot Frosty, but
Which has all of the Hallmark components, but is just hornier.
well that's so
Yeah.
that's exactly my point. So this is what keeps me from watching these. Going back to the 30s and my sort of grand unifying theory of cinema. Cinema is the art of putting two people that you want to see kiss on screen and then making them kiss. I believe all of cinema is downstream from that. And so in the 30s, you have all of these movies, especially before 1934, that are just so horny. And they're like, what can we get away with in terms of making sure you understand these characters want to have sex, they are having
Hmm.
sex, it's good sex. And my feeling about these Hallmark and Netflix films is that they have the one kiss 30 seconds before the credits scroll. They are otherwise very sexless films. And is that a
Yes.
fair?
Yeah, and I think I mean, are you kind of getting at there's a similarity there to like the code in
Well,
Hollywood
I'm I'm
where
I'm actually getting that this is one of the reasons I don't want to watch them is because you watch a 30s movie and they're screwing. right? Like they are having hot and heavy, dirty sex in 30s
Yeah,
movies. Even after the code, they have to be a little bit more like elliptical about it.
right.
But
Mhm.
I don't get the impression that premarital sex happens, and you even sort of touched on that, like marriage outside the or sex outside the marital bed. Um, am I
I
correctly describing these movies? I guess is my question.
I would say yes for Hallmark.
Okay.
Yes,
Um,
exactly.
because
There,
net. Sorry, yeah.
no, go ahead. It's your.
Okay. Well, because the thing that Netflix started with the Christmas Prince, that's the thing that kind of really started the snowball rolling,
And
so to
and my
speak.
sense as an outsider is that that's where this became like an industry, was the Christmas Prince films.
For sure.
Yeah.
Netflix is kind of like the HBO uh of making Hallmark Christmas movies, where even the ones that are really sanitized are a little hornier. The stars are a little more recognizable. They're people that you know and that you like and that they're hot and you want them to kiss. Like it has more of that friction there. Hallmark can feel very much like two Barbie dolls just kind of being banged together
Okay.
by a kid. Um, yeah, sorry, Cameron, what were you gonna say?
No, I think I was basically going to say the exact same thing. I think that Hallmark is sort of trying to up its game as far
Mhm.
as casting at least goes. They're,
They cast people with guys with stubble now.
oh, well, that's a step forward.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, so not everybody's completely clean shaven, all American apple pie guy. That's good.
Mhm.
So I have a couple of friends who write Hallmark Christmas movies,
Oh,
and they recently wrote, they've written a few. One was called Love on Iceland. I can't remember what the second one was called. And then the most recent that came out this year is called Tidings of the Season, starring, I believe it's Tia Mowry of Sister Sister fame.
Oh yeah,
Um,
she's all up in these.
yeah, so I think Tamara Mowry is also maybe in some of them, but
Oh, for sure.
so
But not together. They're not friends.
yes, so that's like one of the childhood stars of our youth
Hmm.
being put in here as a name, whereas mostly before, I think you're right that Hallmark had lower budget actors. Um, I have no idea what kind of salary Tia Mowry commands these days, but she is a noticeable, like recognizable face, and so maybe they're trying to start to emulate Netflix in that way. Um,
Yeah.
I have not
And
watched that
sorry.
movie yet, just because I didn't want to be biased
Yeah.
for this very recording
hmm.
towards a movie that my friends wrote. So,
Hmm.
We
but
appreciate that.
everybody else should go see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And not to disrespect Hallmark. Like
Mhm.
obviously they've had Lacey Chabert in their stable for such a long time. I think Hallmark is a very difficult place to work as an actor. Because they shoot their movies up in that Canadian Christmas town
Mhm.
in like 5 days. They don't really do second takes. They just rip through those scripts. Um, and so you have to be really polished, really professional, really on top of it. And you're not going to get like a great performance out of a Hallmark movie. But the people who do really well are the people like Lacey Chabert who can just crank it out and be charming.
So it's like soap
And
opera acting.
yeah, it's like soap
Yeah.
opera acting. It is for sure. So there are people who shine in that. And I do think that they do get people who you've heard of. Like Barry Bostwick's always floating around in a Hallmark Christmas movie. A lot of people who are kind of at that level, but
Yeah.
people who you do want to see. Um, and so yeah, Hallmark does have that. And I do want to say like Hallmark is more sanitized. I think Tim, if you want to dive in, you should start with Netflix. That's where you need to go.
Okay.
Mhm.
But Hallmark movies have a thing that Netflix movies kind of don't, which is that there's always one scene that feels like it's from a Twin Peaks episode. Like
That's so true.
yeah, there's always something uncanny and strange that you kind of have to see to believe.
And then
And
isn't revisited later. Like it's
no,
just a weird thing in the town. You're totally right. That's
yeah, and
funny.
it is all the more special because it comes in the middle of this kind of very vanilla, very generic kind of rom-com.
Hmm.
Um, like I think my favorite scene like that is in the movie. It's a Lacey Chabert movie. It's called A Christmas Melody. It was allegedly directed by Mariah Carey.
Oh,
But
okay.
I think she was mainly just on the phone. She literally phoning it in probably, and someone else was
Probably.
actually doing it. Um, but it's, small town Christmas bullshit, doing a choir thing. Uh, Sorry, I have so many things pinging around in my brain. One thing I'm gonna put a pin in that really quick and just say that I believe the co-star with Lacey Chabert in this one is Brendan Penny, who is one of the stable of like generically handsome Hallmark guys that just does Hallmark movies. There are a lot of
Yeah,
these people, men and women, that don't escape the Hallmark
Hmm.
bubble, but they're very famous on Hallmark.
and very
Is
good
that,
at it. Like
yeah.
The
for what they are, they're very good at it.
the phenomenon my mother has described, again, she's my expert on this subject. She has mentioned the psychological disruption that happens where you watch one of them and it's like A is the heroine, B is the love interest, and C is like the nasty man that the heroine has to escape. And then you
Uh-huh.
watch the next one and it's like C is the protagonist who we think is a real sexy guy, and then like D is the new heroine. And how weird it is to have this like essentially interchangeable cogs but playing different characters. Is that a phenomenon?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, I would say so.
And isn't that kind of like the Hollywood star system in the 1930s?
Except you would never have Cary Grant play anything other than like the smoking hot guy who's the lead.
Okay, that is true. That's true.
They're
But
cogs, but
that's
they're not interchangeable cogs.
yeah, these are largely interchangeable cogs. Although I will say, Luke McFarlane is in a lot of the Hallmark
Oh,
movies. He was also the lead opposite Billy Eichner in Bros, and
That
he's
is
definitely
not
the
a
like.
that does not dispose me to want to watch him in things.
I understand that. That movie's not great, but I thought he was great in Bros.
He is better than
Um,
Billy Eichner.
well, that's not hard. Um, but he's the hot one, at least in my mind, at least in terms
yeah,
of Hallmark.
yeah.
Sorry, Cameron, were you saying something?
I don't, I don't know if I was saying something.
Okay, then real quick, I will finish the thing I was saying about A
Yes,
Christmas
please.
Melody, about the Twin Peaks scene. So another mainstay of these movies on Netflix and on Hallmark is Kathy Najimy. She plays, oh yeah, she plays Lacey Chabert's aunt in A Christmas Melody, and she owns a diner. And there's just a scene that has nothing to do with anything. It's just the beginning of a scene where Lacey Chabert comes in to talk about her problems. But Lacey Chabert is taking the order of this family. It's like a dad and two daughters, and everything they say is completely insane. And Kathy and Jimmy just like, uh-huh, like writing their orders down on her pad. Um, like I don't remember what the dad says, but the older daughter says, I'll have the meatloaf. No peas. And she just like freaks out. And then the littler girl, when she makes her order, she just says fries,
My
and that's
God.
it. And it's just everything's really uncanny and strange, and those aren't they're not characters in the movie. And we just move on. And
Yeah,
every Hallmark movie has one scene like that.
yeah.
Okay.
You have to wonder if it's like these are child actors in that situation and like this is all we could get, so we have to cut it strangely and also
I mean, I'm
it's a weird
hearing these are the
performance.
producer's nephew and niece.
Oh, for
Probably.
sure.
Probably. I do think there is one way, Tim, when you start to watch these, because I know now you're going to dive in deep, is the one way to tell whether or not it's maybe going to be good or if it's going to be so bad that it's good is to look at the production design and costume design. And because
Mm.
often they look fine as far as cinematography, the editing is decent, et cetera, et cetera. The production design in particular, it's a lot of these movies are like, I'm a doctor and here is my office, and it is a white wall with a drawing of a stethoscope on it, and that's it, or whatever, And there's very, very minimal production design where it's like, yes, we shot in an office, but we had to completely turn it from whatever office it was into a doctor's office or into a lawyer's office or into the police station. There's a lot of white walls going on in the worst of these movies, in my opinion. And then if you see a lot of like shiny material for costume design, which is just generally a no-no, I think. Uh, you kind of know that this was maybe more done on the cheap, and
Mhm.
maybe you're not headed in the most satisfying direction cinematically.
Okay.
And yet, those movies also have some merit because they can be hilarious.
And
Yeah,
Cameron, you oh god.
and well, in Hallmark especially, the production design can tip toward maximalism, and that's exactly where you want to be.
Right.
This is one of the tropes I was going to bring up, but one of my favorite things is the Christmas decorations in these movies because they're always
Yes.
completely lavish and over the top.
Yes.
There are there are multiple Hallmark movies where there are scenes where there's shot reverse shot and there is a Christmas tree in the background of both shots.
Yeah. The same one, I bet, right? Like the exact same Christmas tree?
Yeah, I mean they had two of them, I think, maybe. Or
Oh.
I mean they're just I think there might even be wide shots where you can see them both sometimes, but it might be the same tree. But like there's just there are certain movies where their kind of credo is every frame of this movie you are going to see something Christmas. And
Yes.
and that's really nice. I really like that.
I mean, that to me is the defense of Black Christmas 2006 as worth watching.
Mm,
It's because it's got that kind of Christmas vibe compared to 74, which has very little Christmas in it. But no, what I was going to
mm.
say, Cameron, is you joke, but also I've been giving very serious thought to having December 2025 be my month oh bad Christmas movies.
Yeah, no, I'm not
Ooh.
joking. I know
And
you're gonna go there.
I will say part of the reason, God forgive me, part of the reason why I want this to be my month of bad Christmas movies is I've kind of been jonesing to rewatch Saving Christmas, the Kirk Cameron propaganda
Oh.
film.
Ah,
But
I have not seen
I will
this.
be very tempted to throw some Netflix Christmas on there as well. Saving Christmas is rotten to its core. I can't recommend it.
This is a subgenre that we are not talking about today, but evangelical Christmas movies
Oh
they are
man.
such a font of bad good
I
glory.
feel like we could do an entire hour on a karate Christmas miracle,
I
but
Haven't seen that one, but I need to.
haven't either.
oh Lordy. Oh wow,
Um,
you do.
I feel like we could do a whole episode on animated evangelical Christmas
oh my
movies, to
God.
be honest. Because there's at least one every year that's like a
Uh-huh.
biblical story that, yeah. Ooh.
This
Oh yeah.
year's is David.
Oh yeah.
Oh
Oh,
my
I know.
God, that's gonna be
David in
hon
theaters right now, I believe.
honestly, David's kind of hot. Not gonna lie. Um,
David is a cartoon who looks like
Hey,
he's made
there
out
are
of wax.
Tim, there are hot cartoons in this
there are
world.
many hot cartoons.
Yeah,
Um,
that's a path we don't need to go down right this second,
not
but
right this second. But yeah, not to talk about it. So let's draw back.
okay, sorry.
Cameron, I'm no,
No,
I
that
just
was
want
Yep,
to.
totally
yep.
on me. That was complete. I want to talk about something.
Yeah, of course. And no, but I just want to. I don't want to get too far because I could talk about that forever. But Cameron,
Mhm.
I'm curious if there are specific stars that if they are in a Hallmark or Lifetime or Netflix Christmas movie that you kind of put it at the top of your pile. You're like, okay, I gotta watch this.
I wouldn't say that there's I mean, I think Lacey Chabert, if she's in something, I will at least give it a try.
Hmm.
Um, I don't, it's not even because I particularly love Lacey Chabert. It's just like, I know that that's probably their top tier of
It means that
Hallmark
there's a little
movies.
bit more budget.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Like they know that she draws eyeballs. I don't really like the one-offs I find really interesting. Like the Brooke Shields one with Carrie
Hmm.
Elwes was like, wow, that's a movie that I feel like I need to see just to see what these two are doing, and also because I've had a crush on Carrie Elwes since I was,
Mm.
4 or something whenever that movie came out. When did The Princess Bride come out, Tim? What, 89?
87, I think.
87. So yeah, I was 4. I was right. Okay. I don't know if that's when I saw it, but I was a kid. I yeah, I don't there's not really to answer your question, but
Okay.
it sounds like there probably are for you.
I don't know. I mean, I will go to a Luke McFarlane one,
Hmm.
mainly because I have a huge crush on him, but I also think he tends to deliver as an actor more or less. He's another one of those actors that can just work in that space and just
Yeah.
crank out something that is kind of worth watching, even if it's not like one of the great performances. I will say, circling back slightly to A Castle for
Hmm.
Christmas, which is the Brooke Shields and Carrie Elwes one, just like the night before Christmas with Sir Cole. This one, the castle, because Scottish castle, it's a
Hmm.
Scottish castle. They're called Duns, but this one is called Dun Dunbar.
Yeah.
Um, and that's kind of the special thing with Netflix. They tend to be either linguistically or geopolitically complex in ways that you're not expecting.
Uh,
Um, but also, Cameron, I'm curious. I guess we're mainly splitting between Hallmark and Lifetime.
yes.
I mean, Hallmark and Netflix.
Yes.
Is there, like, if you had to pick if you had to like cancel the entire slate of one and only watch one for the other for the rest of your life, which would you
Oh,
pick?
God. I mean, I feel like Netflix is more creative,
Mhm.
within the boundaries of creativity for these movies, which is their high walls, that are hard to cross. So, um, I would probably choose Netflix. A few years ago, when we were watching Christmas movies, we went down a path of I think I believe they're Hallmark movies, but there's like a whole series of movies called Time for Blank to Come Home for Christmas.
Oh
Time
yeah.
Time for us to come home for Christmas, time for them to come home for Christmas, time for him to come home for Christmas, time for
Hmm.
her, etc., etc. And they're all different. They're not all the same universe. And yet they all have the same title. So like things like that kind of point to Hallmark not quite as creative. However, I am willing to be proven wrong because I've seen fewer Hallmark movies for the reasons you said at the beginning, Brennan, where like you have to pay for them. And
Yeah.
I don't always want to pay for them. I only get a 1 week free trial every year. So, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But they are special when you get to come across them a little bit. But
Yeah.
it is so hard to be like, this is a Hallmark movie that is worth paying five or more dollars for.
Or
Like it's just
Yes, like how do you discern between like a Royal Montana Christmas and Christmas with the Royals in Alaska or whatever? I just made that last one up. But Royal Montana Christmas is a real thing. And
yeah.
like the trailers are virtually identical
Yeah.
often. So yeah, it's often a shot in the dark. I like a lot of the ones that say like Christmas on the Bayou, Christmas in the
Hmm.
forest, Christmas in the Smokies, Christmas in the Pyrenees or wherever. Like
Ooh.
that's not again, not a real one.
I
But
know. It's
I
giving Mysteries of Udolpho, the
oh,
gothic romance. I like it.
I mean, I also feel like you watch enough of these movies and you start to think like I could write these. And I know I can't actually write these, but I've come up with a lot of decent ideas for them that
You
I
give them
have
to your
to,
friends.
I should give them to my
yeah.
friends. Yes.
Um, but I guess okay, so I feel like we're kind of running out of time a little bit. So
Hmm.
maybe we should do like best and worst of these. Is that something
Okay.
you kind of have at your fingertips?
I don't have a list, so I will just go ahead and say what I've got.
Okay.
Ooh.
Because as I said, I've only seen a few of these. Actually, it occurs to me, and I don't think it's the same thing precisely because it's not a rom-com, it's more of a Christmas Carol. But
Mhm.
Dolly Parton's Christmas on the Square.
Oh, terrible.
That
Mm.
is the other Netflix Christmas thing that I watched from start to finish without interruption. And it is very terrible. Criminal lack of Dolly Parton, given that Dolly Parton's are the first words of the title. But
Yeah.
I would like to register my feeling that Hot Frosty, which is again the one I've seen, um, because it is emblematic of why I've been reluctant to watch these. Uh, it is wacky and I appreciate it does have a little bit of the kind of weirdness that you were talking about. I know that's a Netflix, not a Hallmark one, but it does have moments where it feels like this isn't a real place. These are like
Mhm.
orc people disguised as humans having this conversation in a coffee shop. But the thing that really made me bounce off of it, Hot Frosty's not hot. Hot
No.
Frosty's kind of super
Mhm.
gross looking. And again, it gets back to the like I need my romantic comedies to be again like Clark Gable and Claudette Colbert kind of like lying on a bed next to each other and not having sex because that would be against the law. But like that kind of like smolderingness. Hot Frosty has like no features anywhere on his body. And so
Yeah.
I long for that like movie star hot in my rom-coms. And I think that's what I'm not going to get out of these.
Yeah. That was a disappointing feature of Hot Frosty for me because that actor, again, his name is escaping me.
His name is
Um,
Dustin Milligan.
Thank you. On Schitt's Creek, super hot. So,
Yes.
Okay.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
unfortunate.
they really messed him up. I don't know what they did. It's the hair and the
Yeah,
just like the
the
sheeny shiny, just like
clean shaven, like,
yeah, I don't
no,
know about that.
yeah. Well, so Brennan, let's see. You were asking about best and worst.
Yes.
Okay. I keep a list of these
Hell
because
yeah.
I am who I am.
Whomst among us does not keep
Yes.
lists.
Sadly, all these movies have such similar titles that it's hard to remember which actually is which. However, I believe that I can say the worst. It, it's between two. There's one called, I think it's Christmas Catch, which I believe is the one that has Lauren Holly as a police chief, and the protagonist falls in love with a thief, I think. It's very bad. So that was bad. The other one was Christmas at Mistletoe Farm, which I think is a Netflix movie, but
That one
it's
I've heard
not.
of.
Yeah, it's terrible. No, like you don't need to see that one. That one's legitimately terrible. In the realm of so bad I love it, The Night Before Christmas and The Spirit of Christmas, the aforementioned ones, um,
Hmm.
were great. And then actually good movies. We've talked plenty about A Christmas Prince. Um, there's one called Holiday in the Wild starring Rob Lowe and Kristen Davis. That's actually pretty great, and I love that one.
I
It has
missed that
elephants.
one, but
Oh, it has elephants. You should see it.
I have heard pretty good things about that one.
Yeah. Yeah. How about
Um,
you?
for me, as far as Hallmark, I do think I'd recommend A Christmas Melody, which is that Mariah Carey one. She does show up in it also very briefly.
I would hope
Um,
so.
I mean, right?
Yeah.
Um, I would say kind of the platonic ideal of the Hallmark Christmas movie is probably Pride, Prejudice, and Mistletoe with Lacey Chabert. I think if that's the one to watch if you want to see if you can even survive a Hallmark Christmas movie.
Yeah.
Like if this is a thing for you. I would also throw my hat in the ring for The Spirit of Christmas on Lifetime. Um, on Netflix, back in the early year of 2017, when A Christmas Prince took the world by storm and kind of started this thing. It had a companion on Netflix. There was another, not it, they weren't related, but it had another Christmas movie that came out that year called Christmas Inheritance. I think that movie's very, very charming. Guess what? It's about a
Yeah.
woman from the big city who goes to the small town. Um, but the guy in that one is Jake Lacey, who's like an actual actor, like maybe a character actor, but he's hot and he's charming, and that I really, really like that one.
Yeah,
Um,
I agree. That's a good one.
yeah,
Can
it. Mhm.
can I ask a variant question, and maybe you've already provided the answer to this? Not necessarily what is the one you think is the best. If you could pick one to make me watch, and I'm telling you, you can pick one to make me watch, each of you,
Oh,
what
oh, I
is the
love
one?
this. Oh, Tim,
Okay,
this
I
is
need to
so
roll.
hard. I know. I need to look at my
You
lists.
guys name a film, and within the next 10 days, I will have watched it.
Okay, damn. Okay, I need to think about this too. I'm gonna roll through my other recommendations that I've highlighted while
Okay,
I think about
great,
this.
Okay.
great.
I do. I think exploring the Christmas Prince trilogy is a must. They
It's
get
a
more and more overheated. It's lovely.
yeah, and you will enjoy them, I think. Like legitimately enjoy them.
Yeah.
Um,
And I will say probably the worst on Netflix is one that came out this year. It's called Champagne Problems. It's named after a Taylor Swift
Oh,
song.
that's also one
oh
I heard
dear.
about, possibly because you saw it on Netflix, Brennan, or on
Okay.
Letterboxd.
Yeah, it is. Oh my God. So that one has Minka Kelly. She is our TV star du jour who we have pulled in. I never watched Friday Night Lights, so I don't know if she's good on that show,
Wait,
but
who is she? Oh, she's the blonde girl. Blonde girl? Is that who
uh
she?
I don't think she's blonde in
Okay, who is she on Friday
this.
Night Lights?
I have no idea. I have not seen
Okay.
it, unfortunately.
Sorry. Okay.
Um, but she is giving this mesmerizingly awful performance.
Excellent.
Um, it is so bad. Also, the movie's not really Christmassy enough, and it has some AI bullshit in it, and I was not
No.
I did not know
Yeah.
that ahead of time, and I was very mad about that movie. But yeah, sorry. Now I will quietly scroll through my list and try to find the
Yeah.
perfect one.
Another one to avoid was called which was on me. I picked this for us to watch, and it turned out to be terrible. It's called My Dad's Christmas Date, which was starring Jeremy Piven. Awful.
Huh.
Like just avoid at all costs. I
I
think
mean,
that's
I feel
also a
like it
Netflix.
was on you that you knew Jeremy Piven was in this movie, and you nevertheless persisted in watching it.
I mean, the trailer is very misleading. It was a cute trailer, so
Okay.
but all the cute left after the trailer.
Yeah, I think if I had to pick one for Tim, I think I would
Mhm.
pick the one we've talked about, The Spirit of Christmas, the one with the
Okay.
ghost guy.
Okay. Yay. I'm
All
so
It's
right.
it's
excited.
The
it's
Spirit of
pretty
Christmas,
good.
and that is a Lifetime original, correct?
It is,
Okay.
Yeah, but I think
which we
it's
haven't talked about as
available.
much. But yeah,
Yeah, I think
it's somewhere.
it's available on other
I
platforms
I
too.
will I will use my voodoo. I find
Okay.
movies.
Yeah, and
Okay.
it's from like Lifetime and Hallmark movies tend to come to Netflix or Amazon Prime or whatever. And this one's like 10 years old, so it's floating around. It might be on Tubi or something. Um,
Yeah.
while Cameron is selecting
Okay.
hers, I do want to do a teeny tiny plug. There is a Lifetime Christmas movie called Dear Christmas. It's another quarantine shot movie. It was one of the like very early 2020 productions. Um, it stars Melissa Joan Hart and Jason Priestley. And it is a very eerie, eerie, empty movie with like four characters, and they're constantly like, "Oh, wasn't that party great? We just stepped out of it." Um, and it's you will hear me talking about this a lot. I am going to be on Dan Stalcup's podcast, The Goods, to talk about this movie, and I believe the episode will be out by the end of the month, so you can take a listen to that and hear me talk a lot more about it. It is uh not good. Um, but the ways that it misunderstands podcasting, because Melissa Joan Hart's character is a podcaster, I think it is a must see if you know or care about podcasts at all.
Interesting. Okay. Tim, I think I'm gonna go the route that Brennan went and just one that we've already talked about because my brain is having a hard time like culling all of these together in this list. And just say, please watch The Night Before Christmas.
All
Night
right.
with a K.
The
Ooh.
Knight before
The
Christmas. All
Night
right.
Before Christmas.
I will be
Yes.
honest. Those are two specific ones that I had earmarked based on this
Of
conversation.
Oh,
course.
okay, great.
Yes. Yes.
Well, wait. Are there other ones that you've written down from what we've talked about?
Well, I haven't written any of them down until these two, but I've made notes, shall we say. I am certainly likely to at some point pursue the Christmas Princes.
Okay. I
Okay.
think, and you can't resist the siren call of a franchise, Tim.
It's
This
so
is this
true.
is one of my issues. I cannot. I can tell you right now that no matter how much I don't like Christmas Prince 1, I will be watching Christmas Prince 3 if I start. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as you should. I know, sorry, I know
No, to
Cameron and I
go. Please go
diverge, but I
ahead.
think they get increasingly fun. I really
I
like them.
here's my question for you, Brennan. Do they get zombies fun?
Nothing gets
Actually, it's a question for
zombies
both of you,
fun.
really.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
we are the right people to ask.
it's true. I mean, Tim, have I not made you watch Anna and the Apocalypse?
We've podcasted, Brennan and I, about
Okay.
Anna and the Apocalypse. That's like
Okay.
actually well-built cinema, though.
Yes, no, I agree. It does not fall in this genre.
Okay.
The other movie that doesn't really fall in this genre, but is a Netflix Christmas movie, that is actually pretty good, is The Feast of the Seven Fishes. It's
Okay.
a good movie. You
I'm not
might like
familiar with that.
that one.
Cool.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, I would rather talk to you about The Night Before Christmas.
All right. Sounds
Oh yeah.
excellent. Excellent. Well, thank you both very much for helping me ring in the season, getting ready to enjoy the winter. All of you, we have 2 weeks till Christmas, so you should be, more than 2 weeks. So you should join me in watching some of these delightful sounding masterpieces of world cinema. Those of you who don't celebrate Christmas, go watch good movies. I don't know. Do what you got to do. But thank you all for listening. Thank you, Cameron and Brennan, for being part of the show. Next week, we are continuing to celebrate the month of December with a retrospective of the work of James Cameron in preparation for the release of his newest film, Avatar, Fire and Ash. So be sure to listen to that. And otherwise, happy holidays, everyone, and we will see you next week.